Coming from the City of Angels, in the basement of Studio True, we bring to you the William Vinegar Show. So here he is, William Vinegar.
Vinegar Show, Episode 7, June 16th, 2023, Friday afternoon. I know I gave you guys Episode 6 yesterday, but this one will be downloaded today on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe, as you can see right there. And you can also follow me on Instagram at The Mighty Sosa, right there. And I hope you guys are having a good Friday afternoon. Some of you guys are at work at LAX T2, closing tonight. While I enjoy this sativa blunt. As usual, this podcast is brought to you by Willie June Merchandisers, the online store that I own, where you can find the latest and greatest in tech and gadgets. So I'm going to have monologues right on the other side of this. I had to spark one just to start monologues. Let's see, monologues. Talk about this Spectrum, this cable lady. She got fired from her job. Well, what happened was, it happened in Greensboro, North Carolina. She got fired from her. Well, what happened is that Human Resources called her and told her if she don't report to work on Thursday, they was gonna terminate her, fire her. You know, I don't know if it was because of attendance or anything like that, but be that as it may, she comes to work the very next day, which was a Thursday, and she resigned. And then, you know, she goes back to the car, gets a handgun, shoots the, they take her access card. They take her access card. She goes back to her car and shoots the door, and gets a gun and shoots the door of the, of her place of employment, and goes in and talks to the HR lady who called her on Wednesday. Her name was Sharon. Wow. Got to be careful of those things, HR. I love my HR. Got to return calls sometime. Next on monologues, this is about some sick bastard in Pennsylvania. He's actually a professor at Penn State. If you're familiar with sports and college football in particular, everybody know Joe Paterno. Yes, this Penn State professor, a Penn State professor accused of committing sexual acts with an animal in the forest. In the forest. It was with a dog. And he says the reason why he did that, a bestiality charge, he said, I did it to blow off steam. He did it to blow off steam. What is this world coming to? Be right back with talking shit and throwing shade. I need a beer after this one. Well, I told y'all I was going to get a beer, didn't I? Blue Moon. I do not own the rights to this beer. Don't want to get sued, by the way. Anyway, talking shit and throwing shade. We're going to talk about a couple of Luliman employees in Georgia who were trying to stop a couple of thieves from, doing not a smash and grab, but, a run out, taking the shit, running out, But they got fired. because they confronted the robbers, and they were, you know, that store in Georgia had been gotten robbed, so many times. And I guess it was the same guys doing it. And the manager of the place, she stepped in front of them. I mean, was no nobody got injured or anything like that, but she stepped in front of them saying, "You guys need to stop doing this shit." Blah 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 blah. They just stepped aside, stepped around her and just kept going. And they got arrested later. But anyway, Lululemon, the company, stands by firing those employees. And they got mad at the employees for calling the damn police. I worked at AutoZone, you know, and, we've been through a couple of robberies, mind you, used to, former employee. But, eventually, you know, they caught the robbers. And, I had to go on trial for that. And it lasted a long ass time. But, that's kind of fucked up. Lululemon. And at AutoZone, we actually had fun chasing the thieves. But I'll say that for another episode. Now we'll talk about why is there so many sexless young men? Let me read that again before I start my diatribe. Let me get it off the phone. Everybody say I need an iPhone. I love my Android. But, I do need a new cell phone though. Oh, okay, here we go. Why so many young men are lonely, sexless, and extremely online? Why is that? That's easy. Because that's all they do. Gamers. Be on Xbox. Not on, mind you, I used to play Xbox. But that's all they do. All day long, all night long. And leads to that. They have no romance. They don't got no game. No pun intended. But there's a cure for that, young man. Find your yellow. Find someone that's going to make you smile. And on that note, my four no's. Be right back. My four no's. Check it out. It's going to be a no for me if you can't match my inappropriate behavior. Now, when I say that, I say that with a caveat. I'm not going to be inappropriate on purpose. But what I mean by that, when I tell a joke or, what I'm saying, we got the same sense of humor, basically. Basically, we got the same humor. And sometimes it could be inappropriate. But if your, humor matches, then hey, it's going to be a no for me if you bring unnecessary drama into my life. That's self-explanatory, isn't it? There's no need for me to speak on that. There's no need for me to speak on that. You know, you when you're speaking into the microphone, it's not good to trail away like this, so you can't hear me. So I come back like that. Okay. Number 3. It's going to be a no for me if you're not willing to meet me halfway. You got to show some type of commitment, but not in that sense. Not a commitment in that sense. You got to be able to meet someone halfway. It can't be your way all the time. And then the last one, I'm messing around right now. Last one, it's going to be a no for me if you only want me on your terms. Which means, which means we got to be synchronized as one on our terms. And that on that note, that ends episode 7. I'd like to thank all of you who watch and support my podcast. Gotta be in at 6 a.m. God bless. Be true and stay gold. I gotta finish this beer and do some editing. This show will be out before midnight. Later.
Thanks for watching The William Vinegar Show, a Villainous Hero production.